it's me, Melissa Lake. I am going to be completing another dissection today. It is specifically the sheep heart. Well, can't really see that, but the sheep heart dissection. And I have my glasses on. Don't have my apron on, but I should. But I ripped it last time. It was a little flimsy. But I do have a pair of gloves, my eye goggles, so a couple safety measures being taken. I have my sheep heart right here. I was drying it off after I took it out of the bag, so that's why the paper towel's there. Just trying to soak up some of that moisture. That way it's not super wet when I'm working. Scalpel, a probe, and then I don't have my tray. It has some kind of wax thing on it, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take that out. Anyway, I have a cutting board that I never really use. It's one of those like flimsy plastic ones, but it'll keep all the juices from running off and all over the place. So it'll keep it neat. But I'm gonna get started with the lab. So from the outside of the heart, it looks like we are pointing out different parts of the sheep heart. So from the outside, before doing any kind of incision, what we can see, I have a list here that we're supposed to find all the parts for and just mark off. But on my phone, I have just a picture of a heart just for a reminder, because I don't have everything memorized, that's for sure. But let's see. So if we're looking at it this way, with this point, which I believe is called the apex, and I think that's on our list. Yes, the apex. Make sure. Well, it's not on the picture that I'm looking at on my phone right now, but this is the apex, this little corner here, where the two bottom ventricles, not the bottom ventricles, there are only two and they're only on the bottom, but when the two ventricles meet down here. And actually, I guess just to say it, where they meet, that little piece of material in between the ventricles is the interventricular septum, if I'm saying that right. So the septum, a septum is basically just, it separates something, and that's what it does, it separates the ventricles. But it's like kind of inside there, so I'll get to that. But anyway, this is, let's see, I always get the mirrored picture wrong. I want to call the left the right and the right the left. So this is the left ventricle, this bottom section right here. It's actually pretty big. This is the right ventricle, this bottom right part right here. Oh, guess I should show the camera. So right ventricle, interventricular. I always want to say intraventricular. Interventricular in the middle of the right and left ventricle. Left ventricle right here. Apex is that little point area. What else can we see from this angle? Let's see. Well, can't really see the atriums on this angle, I guess. But the atriums are respectively superior to their matching ventricle. So the right ventricle, the right atrium is above the right ventricle, and then for the left ventricle, the left atrium is above the left ventricle, superior to the left ventricle. So The ventricles are covered. The apex is covered. Those are the first three on the list. Coronary blood vessels. You always get those. So the one with the three branches, that's the major ones, the aorta. Can we really tell? Wow, this is wild. I've never held a heart before. It's so strange to me. I guess something else that we can go over, the muscle tissue that the heart is mostly made of on the inside is, is that on the list? It is, the myocardium. The myocardium is the muscle, the cardiac muscle tissue, and it's towards the inside, and the epicardium is on the outside, or it means to the surface. Oh my goodness, my brain is fried right now. The surface. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't think of the word right now. But the epicardium is on the surface of, so it goes epicardium, myocardium, endocardium. So I guess there's two off the list. The interventricular septum, the left atrium, the right atrium, apex. Okay, what else can we see from the outside? It's a lot easier to look at diagrams on the computer when they're color-coded, like they'll be red and blue. So this is a little bit more difficult, I gotta say, but we'll go off the shapes in the diagrams still. Not quite sure where I'm supposed to cut. Looks weird. So I'm seeing some cavities here without doing much damage to it. I'm going to take off my gloves for a second and mark these off since I'm a visual person. Okay, we've gone over the apex. Yeah, I'm very used to looking at the diagrams on the computer, and I've gotten pretty good at pointing stuff out on there, but looking at the real thing, it is different. It is a little harder to tell. Because I don't see the three little, if I put that on right, the three branches that are coming off of the aorta, the aortic arch, but I don't know if they're just covered or, Well, anyway, the right auricle, okay, so this is the apex, the right, the left, okay. So if we turn it around and we look at it from the posterior side, this is going to be the left auricle, and this is going to be the right auricle. Now it says you just have to point out either of them, but I mean, I guess that's both. So left auricle, right auricle. And they are, again, kind of like the atrium and the ventricles. They are just side by side named respectively. So left ventricle, left atrium, left auricle, right ventricle, right atrium, right auricle. And I'd like to get a little more, a closer look, because I want to point out the aorta, but hold it up. It's kind of squished all up in there, but do you see those two cavities? That's what I'm talking about, that opening right there. I'm trying to see what exactly that would be considered. And I'd like to cut into it, but I don't want to cut in the wrong place. So let's look at the instructions, I suppose. Examine the anterior surface of the heart. Okay, so we did that. Oh, well, I guess the pulmonary trunk. This is where the pulmonary trunk is going to be coming out of. This area right in here. If you open that up, you might be able to get a better look at it. But just before I cut into it, I'm going over the sheep heart dissection instructions. So it says to identify certain things by each surface, which I guess I already started doing. But anyway, to go back, the base, the apex, right auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. Okay, well, I guess I identified all those then. So now it says examine the posterior surface of the heart, which I kind of already did. And turn it around. So left auricle, left auricle, left ventricle, right auricle, right ventricle. The coronary sulcus, I didn't identify that yet, but let me. Yeah, that's what I thought, because there's the vessels in it. You can't really see. So the sulcus is going to be going right down through here, and it's made of some fat. And there's some discoloration, well, not discoloration, but difference between the coloration here. This looks like it contains more fat or a heavier layer, and then you can see some vessels going down. You can see some vessels going down through it, and that's where the coronary sulcus is going to be, right through there. Okay, so that was the last one on the posterior surface of the heart. Without touching that too much. Oh, okay, so here's the instruction I was looking for. Insert a blunt probe into the collapsed superior vena cava and into the right atrium. Okay. Blunt probe. Collapse. So this one is kind of collapsed right here. I want to make sure that's what it is. Okay. So it's kind of squished up, but I believe this coming right out there at the top is the collapsed superior vena cava. And I just put the blunt probe into that now. So it says, insert blunt probe into the collapsed superior vena cava and into the right atrium. So that, I was seeing if I could feel it, but, because it says it's supposed to go into the right atrium, but I don't really feel, I don't feel it. I think it's just too thick. But anyway, the superior vena cava collapsed. Wait a second. Because this other hole is connected to that. So is this... If these are connected, then it's kind of... This looks similar to the aortic arch. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pushing the blunt probe. I think I might have used the wrong end. Oh well. I'm pushing the blunt probe into it, and I can see it come out right there. See how it goes through. So I think these are the 3 openings off of the aortic arch. So I was wrong. These are the 3 openings. Well, there are 2 that I can see right now. Don't know where the 3rd one is. I don't want to rip it. So this hole back here must be the opening, the collapsed opening. Okay, yep, that's what it was. Okay, so back here, it was really collapsed. It was like smushed down. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna pause this video. My dog's scratching at the door to be let out. I'm gonna pause and then I will come back and continue so it can be quiet. Sorry about that.